Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today, in the interest of time, I'm going to be doing a short video, but a very fun one, I think. I'm still going to be doing a full-length video on Monday, but this is a bonus. So today, I'm going to be using some really interesting parts that I got on brick hauls over the weeks and months that have just been lying around waiting to be used, and I think it's going to be a pretty cool build. Now, I stumbled across these pieces doing my bricklink orders as part of Brick Haul O'Clock. I think it was first of all this one that I found and just thought it was really interesting pattern with this lovely orange sort of honeycomb pattern with the blue arrow and so on both sides. And then when I discovered it in the catalogue, I found there was another one as well, this green and blue one. So I added that to my wanted list in case I ever stumbled across that. And sure enough, I found it in a store eventually. So I got these two lovely patterned fin pieces for aircraft. Now, they're the same sort of style that's on the recent City set 60367 passenger airplane from 2023. But that tail is brick built, of course, a bit bigger, I think, but in my mind a bit uglier because, well, it doesn't have these lovely patterns on it. Now, these two came from some pretty awful Jack Stone sets from 2002, set 4619 AIR Patrol Jet and 4620 AIR Operations HQ. And, well, those sets weren't very popular, but you can still get these in the catalogue for not much money. I think there's a sort of about 100 vendors for each of them, with a handful in the UK if you want to do a similar thing. But when I saw them in the catalogue, I thought, well, I probably won't use them this way up. I'll probably use them this way up as hang gliders. That was my first idea, and that, I think, is the idea that I'm going to be building today, because I thought it would just be really nice if there was a man hanging off this, kind of in here, with that pattern very visible above Brick Nottingham, with the two of them kind of flying next to each other, dueling, playing together, just to, really make my sky very interesting, as well as having all of the big sort of wide-body jets that I usually have and so on. So that was my thought. Now, Lego have done a few hang gliders before. There's loads and loads of little glider type builds in all sorts of Marvel and Ninjago sets. Pretty much every single one nowadays. But 6585 hang glider, it was a town set in 1998. And 6735 Air Chase was an Iron Extreme stunt set from 2002, which had proper real hang gliders. So they're the sort of thing that I'm going to be copying here, with a man or a lady hanging off the bottom, having great fun. Not something that I would do at all. So given that it's this way up, what I'm going to be doing is attaching some invisible thread to hold them up. And I kind of think that I can do it like a baby's mobile, and I can have one long piece of thread going up to a hook on the ceiling, along the ceiling, and then back down. So they're kind of in a pair and will hang at different heights and spin in different ways when I walk past it and so on. So I'll just secure the end of this practically invisible thread with one of these boat tiles on the top. Like that, and I think the central gravity is around there. I'll probably have to play around with it, and because that stuff is so fine, basically I'm going to have to really make sure it's wedged in properly, because you can attach that under a piece and then still pull it out sometimes. So basically they will have a clear boat tile on each of their, well, now tops, the old bottoms, and then I just need an intrepid hero. There is a nice lady, and I thought I'd make the front a little bit more pointy, and I'm using this curved slope here, which isn't available in many colours, but it is available in blue and white. Ooh, I should put the blue one on that one, really, shouldn't I? And then the white one on the white one. There we go. Very nice. And that just makes it have the proper silhouette in my mind for a real life hang glider. Then I can add a tile, and then I can add two of these clips, modified tiles on here, like that. Let's get the orientation right, and then our flyer needs to be holding on to something, and the Iron Extreme Stunts set used one of these flexible cables, and I think that's a really good idea, because it just means there's something easy to grip onto with both her paws, and easy to attach on both sides, and it kind of looks about right. And it's also very flexible for use. And then just to make that be able to connect onto those clips, I've got this piece, which has kind of got a bar on one side and a stud on the other, which I can clip into position there and there. Ooh. And then, just because it's not quite long enough, that piping, so I'll add on one more stud onto each of those for making the distance a bit bigger. And then this is the sort of annoying bit you have to do about 10 times because it will ping off. But once it's on, it's on. He says, oh, it looks pretty good. First time. So there we go. There is our first hang glider. Now I'll probably have to reposition her hands a little bit. You see it does ping off when I do that, just to get the angle of her body hanging right. In real life, I think they kind of string you into these things so you're firmly attached, which is probably a good thing too, because otherwise you've got nothing else between you and Earth. But there you go. How about that? So that's the sort of underside. I'm going to have them quite high up so you can see her in position. But I also want it low enough that we're able to see this pattern. And with them no doubt spinning on just a single bit of invisible thread, they'll look good whatever orientation you've got. So that is very cool. So that is the first one. The second one I can continue the same, and I've just done all the clamping already on that one. So I can attach this chap this time to this one, and yeah, he's flying as well. So there we go. There are our pair of hang gliders, looking rather swish if you ask me, from absolutely every direction. A very simple build, very rewarding when I did it actually. I was like, wow, that looks really cool. I'll stop right there. So I think the next thing is to get a piece of this invisible thread, which is that invisible. Can you see it? Well, you can with certain lights, under these filming lights. There it is. Well, can you see it still? No, it's very hard. Sometimes you put it down, you think, where did I put it? And I'll add a couple of my painted white ceiling hooks into the ceiling of the Lego room. And I think these should go over the harbour, because that's where I think they'll be kind of the best sort of updrafts to keep them going. Where they launch, I've got no idea. You can launch them by getting towed by a plane or a boat even. But most of them are foot launched off sort of hilltops or stuff like that. So maybe that is what's happened in my city. I don't know. But anyway, they're definitely above the harbour, having great fun. And yeah, they'll just have to find somewhere suitable to land. But yeah, that looks really good. Cool. So let's take these into the Lego room and, well, we'll see if we can hang them. Good. Well, here we are with the invisible thread attached, and I think they're going to look really good against the blue sky backdrop of the Lego room, and that invisible thread will hopefully be very hard to detect, and they'll look very natural indeed. So I've done 1.10 meters, which means 20 centimeters apart, and then two different heights of sort of 40 and 50 centimeters, I think will be about right. So they don't look like they're about to hit each other, and we can see them from above at a distance and below from underneath, which will look really cool if you ask me. So yeah, I'm going to pause and put them up in a moment. I've used Mrs. Hood's aerobic step again, very useful to place two hooks on the ceiling. You won't be able to see them, they're kind of about there. I took a great deal of care to not cast a shadow from that light onto this bit of wall, so the shadow kind of just goes past it and misses, so we don't have unsightly shadows where we don't want them. So I think that'll be really good. And while we're talking about lighting, you'll see that I've got brilliant white lights now, or at least I have on half of the room. I was doing a test. I bought one pack in case it didn't work, but over here we've got much more yellowy light on my hand and on the roller coaster. And people who know about this sort of thing told me that that was not good for filming, and I think I agree with them actually. These were the ones put in by the builder, and these are my new ones, which is similar to the temperature of light that I had in the old Lego room with those garage floodlights. So I might be bringing those down in due course anyway, but yeah, this is a welcome improvement. And for our overhang, you'll see I've actually got three stuck-on lights, which are battery powered, which you can just touch on with your hand, he says. Can I touch them on? Oh, golly, they're a long reach in, a full stretch. But when I've got all three of those on, and we come back out, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? It's not so much in shadow now. I don't think it's quite as bright as the rest of the room. but it is not as shadowy as it was when we did it last time. And given that we had the yellow lights last time as well, I think that is a great improvement. There might be a bit of a shimmer there on camera, but yeah, I think that's pretty good. Tell me what you think about those and the other lights. Right, I'm going to hang these bad boys and we'll see how they look. Ho, 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 that looks absolutely awesome. That is exactly how I imagined it. Two different hang gliders at slightly different heights over the harbour, looking fine if you ask me. And they sort of change direction with the currents of the air in the Lego room, looking very, very nice at a distance. You really can't see those invisible threads. I tried to keep it a bit away from a light, because if you did it under the light, it would basically show up the thread a lot worse. But yeah, that is what I wanted. Them sort of looking very airy and dancer and dreamlike sort of above the harbour. That looks very cool indeed, if you ask me. I mean, we're going to have an absolute load of stuff in the skies. We've already got the sort of Alien Conquest stuff all in that corner. I think the whole sky is going to be that thick with stuff when we're done, with the amount of wide-bodied jets I've got. But these really small ones are very cool, very subtle, very nice. And yeah, keeping them away from a light so you can't see the thread too much. You can see it from that angle, it seems, a little bit. Works very well, and we don't have that unsightly shadow on this bit of wall, so I think that's worked rather well indeed. Yes, do tell me what you think. Quite a small build today, but it's a bonus video as I see it, so they look very cool. Yeah, that looks really fun actually. It almost makes you tempted to try it, but in real life I don't think I would dare. I'm not that kind of a guy, but that is very nice. Very, very colourful. So yeah, a very fun piece that was very cheap, that I didn't know what I was going to use it for. I had a bit of a flash of inspiration, and I think it's worked out perfectly. Much more perfectly than these lights, which do seem to be very shimmery on 50 frames a second camera. So yeah, maybe I have to go back to the drawing board on those. Any tips? Do let me know in the comments section. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, I think we'll be moving a whole section of the old city into the new LEGO room, probably starting on the area underneath the Alien Conquest battle scene. And on Wednesday, then we'll have another Brick Call, of course, on our sister channel, Brick Call O'Clock. And if you want to send something to the channel, you can by sending it to the usual PO Box address. So, yeah, lots coming up. So, until all of that, see you! Very cool.